Cheevo, guys!
What up, guys? This is
Cheevo, guys!
back here again with another achievement guide. Today, we're going to be focusing on day 1 of Pathologic 2. This is a first-person survival game. The story mode is broken into 11 days. The game has 49 achievements and offers 1,000 gamer score. In day 1, there is 5 achievements that you can get. The game is filled with missable achievements. So in this guide, we're going to be focused on getting all 5 achievements related to day 1. Even if you aren't achievement hunting, this is also a walkthrough for day 1 if that's what you're looking for. So right when you start off the first day, you want to go talk to the guy with the mask on, directly to your left hand side sitting in the train. Press select to open your map, and then you want to go to the next mission and you want to press X to set a marker on it. Once you set a marker on it, you can hold LB to see where your next objective is. Pressing LB will show you where your next objective is at, as well as it'll show you the people that you can interact with inside of the world. In this game, we're going to be setting markers on different points in the map a lot, and we're going to be holding LB a lot to navigate to those markers. That's a big part of this game. As I mentioned before, this game is all about survival. We're going to be facing a few different adversities in this game, like hunger, thirst, exhaustion, and health. First, I want to talk about stamina. So you can click in the left thumbstick to run. However, that's going to lower your stamina. If you keep running to the point where your stamina bar depletes all the way, then that's going to start up your thirst bar. You don't really want to get it that low. The green area is always rechargeable. However, the red area is your actual thirst level. The thirstier you get, the less of the meter you're going to have to run with. More than anything in this game, we're going to be drinking water. There's going to be fountains located throughout the game. You can walk up to the fountain and you can fill up an empty bottle, or you can drink directly out of the fountain. Anytime your thirst meter is showing at the bottom, I recommend trying to go to a fountain and grab a quick drink. Personally, I recommend having 2 bottles, one that's full of water and then one empty bottle at all times. You can find empty bottles by looting different areas, different cabinets, things like that. One of those fountains that I mentioned, you can go up and get a quick drink by pressing X, or you can fill up a bottle by pressing A. Town is split up into separate districts. You can see these districts on the map. Every time you walk into a new district, it's going to have a quick loading screen and it's going to tell you which district you just walked into. Now there's literally tons of people that you can interact with during this game. In this guide, we're only going to be talking to the people that help us get the achievements and that help us advance and complete all of the main missions. So in the game, you play a surgeon that is living during the plague. Your dad was also a surgeon. The story begins with your dad writing you a letter telling you to come back home, that it's urgent. The first place that you head to in the beginning of the game is your dad's house. We're heading over there as we speak. You can ignore this group of bullies right here. If you try to talk to them and if you mention that you're your dad's son, they're going to try to fight you. So just go ahead and pass them, head over to the right. Going to go through this fence right here, and then this is going to be your dad's house. It's going to be a crowd of people in front of the house. You can start interacting with the people using A. And during this achievement guide, I just keep pressing A through all of the dialogue. You can do the same thing to get through the dialogue quickly. If you're done talking to all the people in front of the house, you want to make sure that you talk to the kid in front of the house. He's sitting in a chair directly to the left of the door. After you talk to the kid, it's going to pop up a new objective on your map. We're going to pop up our map and we're going to set a marker to head over there. It's going to be Reubens' apartment. Reuben is a student of your father and he's a friend of yours. Head over to his house to advance to the next part of the story. Now there's one secret achievement that we're going to be getting here in day 1, and this is for completing the main 4 story missions before 8 p.m. To do this, we need to complete Grief, Reuben, Nodkins, and Lara's quest before 8 p.m. Right now we're headed over to start Reubens Quest. This one is going to be pretty easy, and this one also has a missable achievement related to it. Reubens' apartment isn't too far from your father's house. There's going to be a couple of things that we need to get done at Reubens' apartment. Reuben actually won't be there. It's going to be a bachelor. That's why this mission is pretty easy. It actually doesn't advance too far. All we need to do is really talk to him, and then we're going to complete Reubens' quest. We are going to have a missable achievement related to Reubens' quest. What we're going to need to do is talk to him, and we can skip through the dialogue by pressing A over and over. Once you're done talking to him, we're going to head back downstairs and we're going to exit out of the front door. Once you exit, you're going to see 2 children right in front of you. This is Ace and Ginger from the Soul and the Halves group. going to give us some information on where they're located at, and we're going to be heading over there next. Their leader, Notkin, is going to end up giving us a quest that we have to complete. That's going to be one of the 4 quests that we need to complete before 8 o'clock. After you talk to the kids, make sure you turn back around and go back into the apartment. We're going to go back upstairs and we're going to talk to the bachelor one more time. He's going to unlock a rare achievement called Carpetbagger for 10 gamer score. That should be your second achievement. Your first achievement should have been for completing the prologue. So now that we got that one, we can go ahead and head back downstairs. We're going to exit out of the front door once again. This time there's going to be the Whistler outside. He's basically going to tell you that the rumor is around town is that you killed 3 people, and this is pretty much going to make everybody hate you and everybody want to fight you. Also means, unfortunately, pretty much nobody will trade with you yet. I want to go back in the apartment one more time because now the bachelor is gone and we can loot everything in the room. There's going to be a lot of stuff in the room. Most importantly, there's a lot of money in the room that we're going to use to buy a bull later on in this day. End up buying this bull for I think like 200 or 300 coins, and we end up getting an achievement for that bull later in the game. I think it's on the 10th or 11th day. While you're looting this stuff, you're going to find a few apparel items like a mask and some gloves. Make sure that you actually apply those so that you're wearing them. Mask is going to help with less people noticing you on the streets, which is going to result in less fights. This game is filled with choices. You have a choice to fight back, kill people, you can even take their organs. However, all of these choices are not recommended because this is going to make people hate you and it's going to make the game a lot harder to play. Assuming you guys are playing on the default difficulty, which is the intended difficulty, there is an achievement for completing the game on that difficulty. Also, I don't think I mentioned yet, but when you're looting something like a cabinet, sometimes it has multiple areas like multiple cabinets or multiple drawers. You need to hold A to loot that area or that drawer or that cabinet. You want to make sure that you loot all of the areas of whatever you're looting. Now that we're finally done with this apartment, we can go ahead and exit. We're going to pop up our map and we're going to set a marker on the base for the soul and a halves. The mission icon with the cat on it. After that, we're just going to start heading over there. I also want to touch on how to save the game. So there's clocks that you run into. They're mostly in all of the main buildings. You can save your game at those clocks. There's also one secret save point. Secret save point is going to be located in the cathedral. We're going to go ahead and knock out that achievement later in this video here in day 1. There's 2 guys on the right here. One of them will sell you a revolver for 3,000 coins. I don't necessarily recommend that, not this early in the game. The other guy next to him with the boat, that's pretty much the quick travel system in the game. It requires you to pay a toll to be able to use his boat. Helps with getting around town quickly. His form of payment is a bit unique. He actually requires you to give him a toenail to use his boat. So basically, you gotta give the guy a toll now. Now, we're finally arriving at the Soul and a Halves base. This is in the warehouse area. Theirs has a little white lantern outside of the door. So once you get to Soul and a Halves, you're going to go talk to the main guy right in the middle. That's Notkin, he's the leader of them. So I have a chance at another missable achievement here. At least the first part of a missable achievement. There's going to be a child sitting on the right hand side on some boxes. She has red hair. You want to make sure that you talk to her. You can just press A through all of the dialogue. She ends up giving you a piece of toast. You get an achievement if you give that piece of toast back to her on day 2. If you do both of those things, we can go ahead and exit. We're going to pop up our map, and then you want to put a marker on the little hand sign just below the railroad. It's going to look kind of like a Stonehenge. There's going to be a bunch of rocks. We're going to go find the character Lika. He's the first guy that we talked to right when we started off the game, the guy with the dog mask. He's going to be over there in this Stonehenge area. He's going to be right behind the furthest stone in the back. He's standing right behind it. First, we're going to have to navigate through all of these trains in the station, but once we get past these trains, you should see the stones straight ahead. I mentioned before, the game is going to keep mentioning the fact that we're being hunted because they think that we're a murderer. Later in day 1, after we've completed a couple missions, our name is going to get cleared and it's going to be a lot easier to make our way through town. Once you get to the stones, head to the back and there's going to be the character named Lika. He's going to be right there with the dog mask on. You need to make sure that you talk to him. you can go ahead and press A to fast forward through all of the dialogue. Now, the Soul and a Halves have given us a leash to take him back over there to him. We have two options. We can either give him the leash, or we can go ahead and let him go. The quickest way to end this mission is going to be to give him the leash. After that, we can go ahead and head back over to the Soul and a Halves. If you press A through the whole dialogue, that's going to be basically the quick way to go ahead and end that mission. Otherwise, we're going to have to meet him later on somewhere else in the map, only if you chose the second option. So again, we're trying to get this done quickly. We're just trying to beat all the main missions and get all the achievements. You just want to proceed through all of the trains. We're going to head back to the Soul and a Halves warehouse. Now, I'm still pretty new to this game. However, I don't think that death has too many consequences. I don't think that at any time in the game there's permadeath. You could die as many times as you want. From what I understand, you don't lose any of your inventory when you die or anything like that. So far, at least in day one, I don't think there's too many consequences to dying. Worst case scenario, you were just, on a long hike to get to an objective and you got beat up or something and you went back to spawn and you have to redo that hike. I guess we'll just have to see. It's barely day one. I know you're going to run into a lot more adversity in the game as the days go by. When you get back to the Soul and a Halves warehouse, you just want to make sure that you talk to Notkin. That's going to complete the mission. After that, we're going to pop up our map and we're going to set a marker on the objective that has a key on it. This is where we're going to meet our next main character, which is Grief. Grief has a warehouse as well. It's pretty close to here. All you need to do is go past the train tracks and then his warehouse is straight ahead. There's also a water fountain right here that I end up using a lot if you end up being thirsty. Warehouse is the one with the fire barrel outside the front door. Once you get inside, you want to go talk to Grief. Again, we can go ahead and press A to go through the default dialogue. After you get through the dialogue, you want to go over to the cabinet to the left. We're going to go ahead and loot that and get some stuff out of it. You hold A once again to loot it. There's going to be a rusty scalpel, which we're going to be using here in the next mission. We can talk to the guy leaning against the door for a side mission. However, that isn't one of the 4 main missions that we need to complete, so I'm not going to include it in this walkthrough. You need to pop up your map and you need to set a marker on that house right there. It's in the North Tanner district. It's the house on the left right before the bridge. We're going to head over there because we're looking for Grief's friends. They're currently missing and he wants us to go look for them. So yeah, that's the house we need to end up going to. I'm going to save you guys some time by, just showing you guys where the house is directly. You don't need to go talk to anybody or find any of the clues or any of that. So once we go to the house, it's going to let us walk inside. We're going to find some blood on the floor, and we're just going to follow that blood into the room to discover one of his colleagues on the floor. We're going to end up needing to do surgery on the guy. And once we have done the successful surgery, we can go back and talk to Grief to complete the mission. So just head over to the house that we pinned on the map. Once you cross this bridge, you're going to see a guy with a bull. We need to talk to that guy. We're going to need to buy this bull. I'm pretty sure he sells him for like 200 or 300 coins. After we looted Reubens' apartment, we definitely have enough coins to buy the bull. So the dialogue is actually pretty funny. You ask the guy if it's a talking bull, and he says, as far as I know, he's not a talking bull. So you buy the bull in faith that he will end up being a talking bull. Yeah, you need to make sure that you buy him on day 1. It's a missable achievement if you don't. And then later in the game, we're going to come talk to the bull on day 11, and he may or may not be a talking bull. So we're getting pretty close to the apartment with Grief's colleagues. I do want to mention that when you go into these new areas or new districts, it's going to say you're hated here. That's foreshadowing that you got to be careful that pretty much people are going to attack you on the streets because you have bad street cred. You hold LB, it'll foreshadow who you need to be worried about. So when you hold LB, it makes people glow and gives them kind of a sparkle if you can interact or talk with them. Those people aren't a threat. It's the people that don't glow or sparkle when you're pressing LB that you have to be worried about, like this guy. So once you see somebody, you can try to run away, but almost every time they get at least 1 punch on you. Now, you can try to run away, but it's pretty difficult. You pretty much need to have a full stamina bar. If there's multiple enemies, it's even harder because you end up getting jumped. This guy literally chased me into this apartment. Note that they cannot follow you into a building, so once you walk into a door, you're pretty much safe to go. However, they will follow you into separate districts. Now, once you walk into this door, you're going to see blood on the floor. You need to follow the blood. It's going to take you to the right hand side, and it's going to take you to the last door. You're going to walk in, you're going to see a dude on the floor. You want to talk to the other guys sitting down. You can press A through all of the dialogue. Want to press select, and we want to go to our things. By this time you should have an empty bottle or two. If it isn't empty, you can go ahead and drink it to make it empty. We need an empty bottle every time we do surgery on somebody. To pop up the surgery menu, you need to hold Y to drain the blood. After that, you can choose which area you want to operate on. This time you're going to operate on the lowest area, and you're going to pull the item out of his organ. I think this dude had a lockpick stuck inside of him. So once you're done doing the surgery, you could talk to the guy sitting down again. He's going to tell you thank you. That's going to push us into the next part of this mission. So once you exit, we can go ahead and pop up our map again, and we're going to set a marker back on Grief's warehouse. It has a new icon on it now. You set your marker again, you could hold LB so you know where you're going, so you don't need to be popping up your map all the time. I try to stay off the streets in the sketchy areas, especially when you have bad reputation. So you can go kind of in the alleys between the houses to make your way back. Now, my goal with these walkthroughs is to eventually, if you play all of the walkthroughs day 1 through day 11, you should have the full completion. I'm also going to break up these into individual videos, so I'll be posting videos for each individual achievement. They're just going to be for the people that maybe played the game naturally and are just looking for, one achievement that they missed. This video is going to be part of a series where we do a walkthrough day by day. We complete all of the main objectives and get all of the achievements for each day. Just know that if you miss any of the achievements along the way, you'll be able to watch a video that covers that specific achievement. But if you're watching this video for day 1, just know that I do plan on posting a video for day 2, day 3, all the way to day 11. Hopefully I could release these promptly. I know the game just came out on Game Pass. However, it is just before Christmas time, so I might not get, to day 11 until maybe after the holiday. Eventually, this will be part of a playlist on my channel, and you should be able to access the link for that playlist in the description below. So yeah, anyhow, we're almost back to the warehouses. All we need to do is talk to Grief one last time, and that's going to end Grief's mission for day 1. After that, we have completed 3 of the 4 main missions for day 1. All we need to do next is complete Lara's mission. It's going to be located at the most northern point of the map. Taking a look at that shortly. Other thing is, guys, you want to make sure that you keep it on the hardest difficulty. That's the intended difficulty. You don't want to turn off that difficulty because that will end up ruining the achievement for completing the game on that difficulty. So if you're going for the full completion, make sure that you keep it on the hardest one. If you're just here for the walkthrough and you don't necessarily care about the achievements, I suppose you can go ahead and play on whatever difficulty you want. Get to Grief's warehouse, you just want to make sure that you talk to him. You can go ahead and press A through all of the default dialogue. That'll work perfectly fine. So after that, we can go ahead and exit his warehouse. We're going to pop up our map, and you just want to set a marker on the one that's the closest to you. It's going to be the mission objective with the coins on it. So just set your marker on that. We're going to exit out of the warehouse district. We're going to walk up the train track into the factory area. First, let's catch a quick swig of some water. After you hydrate yourself, we're going to walk up the train track as I mentioned before. The map might seem big at first or be a bit intimidating. I found out that as you play the game a lot, you end up familiarizing yourself with the map pretty well. The map really isn't as big as it appears at first. So once you get to the factory district, you want to go over to the left hand side through this brick wall. There's going to be 2 gentlemen right here. The gentleman sitting down is the guy that will sell you the revolver if you have 3,000 coins. It's really not necessary to do that on day 1. This next guy is the boater. He helps you travel by boat, which is the quick travel method in this game. He does require that you give him a toenail to travel. We're going to quick travel to the point on the top left. That's going to get us to Lara. Once you land on the boat, you're going to see a topless chick to the left. This chick literally got her tetas out, guys. I might have to blur this out because, this is YouTube. After you talk to the crazy lady with her tetas out, some roots are going to appear out of the ground from the tree. You're going to need to interact with these roots. Make sure to have an empty bottle on you because we need to collect the substance from the root and put it in the bottle. In this game you can mix different fluids and such to make certain tinctures. One that we just collected from the root is going to be one of the most valuable of them all. Make sure that you hold on to that. We're going to be using that later. Next, you want to go ahead and walk into Lara's house. We're going to walk to the left and she's going to be in the room straight ahead. This is also the first time in the game where you get an opportunity to rest. You can interact with her couch to sleep on it. So after you talk to her and get through all of her dialogue, make sure that you talk to her a few times and that all of her dialogue is over. We can go ahead and sleep for 1 hour. If you sleep for long periods of time, it's going to lower your exhaustion and eventually increase your health. When you fall asleep for the first time in day 1, you're going to have this dream. You need to make sure that you talk to all 3 guys with the white mask, and then you turn around. To get to the top of the stairs, you're going to find the executor. You need to talk to him. Once you're done talking to him, it's going to spawn you on some train tracks with 3 enemies straight ahead. So I don't know if you guys remember, but the game starts off with 3 dead people in front of you, and you supposedly killed those 3 people. So I think you're having a daydream about murdering those people. So the missable achievement is for letting them murder you. So you just want to let them beat you up. And eventually, after you die, you're going to get a missable achievement for 10 gamer score. That's going to be the Fate No More achievement. There we go. Perfect. For refusing fate and facing the consequences. So as far as I know, I think you did really kill 3 people when you arrived in the town to visit your father, but I think it was in self-defense. When you wake up, Laura's going to talk to you and she's going to mention that she thinks that there's a thief in the house, so we need to go upstairs and search the house for her. So go ahead and head upstairs, and then we're going to head over to the right hand side. There's going to be a door that's open. There's going to be a changeling in here, the thief that she mentioned. Just go ahead and talk to her all the way through the dialogue, and then we're going to head back downstairs to talk to Lara again. After we talk to Lara, that's going to complete Lara's mission. So this completes the 4 missions that we needed to complete before 8 p.m. So now what we can go ahead and do is go outside, and there's going to be some creepy dudes that have appeared because we have unlocked this. Now if you didn't do this correctly, or if you haven't completed the 4 missions, these guys will not be here. So what you want to do is talk to the guy, and then you want to choose the bottom option saying thanks for the warning, pal. He's basically telling you that you beat the missions really quickly and you didn't even give them time to set up the rest of the game. So there we go, that's another 10 gamer score for On the Run. And the achievement description says, come on now, you haven't even given us enough time to change the set. Going to be the hardest achievement for day 1. We got that one knocked out. So now that we're not running against the clock anymore and we have some extra time in day 1, we're going to go for another missable achievement. Go ahead and pull up your map and go to the southwest corner of the map. You're going to see a really big building. That's the cathedral. We're going to go ahead and set a marker on that. That's where the secret save spot is located in the game. End up getting an achievement for using this save spot. Now we got to do a super sketchy hike from one side of town to the other because we don't have any toenails to pay the boat guy. Our name hasn't been cleared yet, so you're still hated in most of these districts. So that's why I said it's going to be a super sketchy hike. You're probably going to get in a couple fights or run away from a couple fights. Now again, you can hold LB to kind of show you which enemies you should be worried about and not. So there's a water fountain right here, but there was an enemy right there, and I'm hoping he doesn't try to fight me. Okay, luckily he didn't see me. I'm going to be patient because I don't want to get in a fight. Right now I have a super sketchy reputation and he would definitely try to fight me. So I swerved him real quick, and I'm going to grab a quick drink of water, and we're going to continue to proceed towards the cathedral. Now, if you played day 1 without following this guide from the beginning, you want to make sure that you don't do the side mission where you turn yourself into jail, because he'll hold you into jail until 8 p.m. and then you're going to miss that secret achievement. Again, I'm trying to swerve an enemy so I don't end up in a fight. Literally, these guys will always get in at least 1 punch on you, which at this point would kill me. Again, we haven't ate so far, so our guy is really hungry. If you haven't yet, you can go ahead and pull up your menu and try to eat something. At this point, we should have a glass of milk which you can drink. That is going to lower your hunger and lower your thirst. Milk is pretty good for both of those. But don't get it twisted, guys. This game is all about being hungry. This game is about the plague. Everybody's starving, everybody's thirsty. It's pretty much a living hell for everybody right now. So as you can see, this guy just tried to punch me, and there's a second guy, so now I'm getting jumped, and I'm pretty sure I'm about to die. Yep, I'm dead. So this is what it looks like to die, guys. I died, and luckily I ended up back at Grief's warehouse. That's why you want to build good relationships. He even gave me a piece of toast, and so we're going to go ahead and exit. Now we have 2 pieces of toast. You can eat one. That isn't going to mess up the achievement as long as we have 1 piece of toast in our inventory for day 2 to give back to that little girl. We'll end up getting that achievement. Now, because I got beat up on the way to the cathedral, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward there. At this point, I don't think I need to show you guys me literally walking there because you guys know how to set a marker on your map and find your way there. Once you walk into the cathedral, we're going to head over to the right-hand side and we're going to walk up the spiral staircase. Now, once we get to the 2nd floor, we're going to see an hourglass in the middle of the room. We're going to be able to save our game here by pressing A. Now, I've found that the achievement doesn't unlock the first time you save your game. I've even waited there for quite a long time and the achievement never popped. You need to save the game twice for the achievement to unlock. At least at this point. They may end up updating the game. I had to save it twice to get my achievement. And there we go. I saved it the 2nd time, and so it should pop here in just a second. Once it pops, we can go ahead and leave the cathedral. So at this point, guys, we should have 4 of the 5 achievements in day 1. All we need to do is complete day 1 to get the 5th achievement for day 1. So we need to pop up our map, and then we're going to set a marker back on Laura's house. We're going to go over there to take a quick nap. Fortunately, it's going to be a long hike back to Laura's house, so I'm going to go fast forward through that. Once you get back to Laura's house, we're just going to sleep on our couch for a few more hours. Because after 8 o'clock, you're going to have a messenger show up at Lara's house for you, telling you to go meet Big Vlad. Once you get to Lara's, you don't need to talk to her. We're just going to go to sleep for 2 or 3 hours, depending on how much time you have left. Just make sure that it goes past 20. That's going to be 8 o'clock in real time. That's going to trigger some dialogue with Lara. Go ahead and proceed through that dialogue, and then we're going to go to the front door to find a messenger waiting for us. Laura's house also has a clock right here if you want to ever save your game here. So you just want to make sure that you talk to this messenger. It's going to pop up a new area on our map. So we can go ahead and pull up our map, and we're going to set a marker on Vlad's. Vlad's is going to be the one with the new mission icon on it. We're going to set a marker and head over there. Again, we got to do a quick hike. The guy that we're about to go talk to is the guy that's going to end up clearing our name. So after that, it's going to be a lot easier to make our way through the streets. That's assuming you have a good reputation and you aren't fighting, killing people, and stealing their organs. Because doing stuff like that will ruin your street cred real quick. However, on the other side of things, selling the organs is big business. It equals a lot of money, which equals weapons, food, and shelter. So it's up to you on how you want to play this game. I personally recommend laying low and being the good guy. It's going to make the game a lot easier, especially on the intended difficulty. Now, the day 1 video, this video, is probably going to be the only walkthrough where I'm walking from objective to objective. In the next videos for the next days, I'm going to be fast forwarding through the footage and cutting the footage so you guys don't have to see me walk from place to place. Because in the next videos, I don't feel that it'll be necessary, because at that point, you guys will know much more about the game. You'll know much more about setting markers and then how to get to the markers. Other than that, the only reason I included all of the walking here in the day 1 walkthrough was so that I can give you guys tips and tricks in between objectives. Because this game is really intimidating at first, there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of tips and tricks that I could teach you guys to make the game less intimidating and easier to play. Because this game isn't really linear at all. It really lets you do whatever you want. You don't necessarily even need to complete all of the main missions. All you need to do is finish a day and it goes into the 2nd day. And then sometimes you miss opportunities to complete missions. So the game is filled with missable achievements, guys. I mean filled with missable achievements. So it's very important that you save your game a lot. However, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know if it's because they haven't had the day 1 patch yet or not, but I already had a save glitch the first time I was playing the game. Once I maxed out the save slots, it wouldn't let me save my game anymore. So if you guys are having that issue, let me know in the comments. Hopefully they end up fixing it and patching it out, because that's a bummer. I mean, saving is super important in this game. Now, there's children located all around town. Typically, you can talk to these children and trade with them. It's actually a cumulative achievement for trading with 27 children, so we're going to get that over the course of the game. Now, that's going to be pretty much impossible day 1 because you have a super bad reputation right now and nobody is willing to trade with you because they don't trust you. We finally made it to Big Vlad's. This place is the one with the door handles that look like horns. Once you get inside, you're just going to head to the back of the place, and you're going to see him sitting in a chair. We're going to go ahead and press through the default dialogue once again. After you talk to him, that's going to unlock some new thoughts or knowledge, and it's also going to unlock some new points on the map. So we're going to pull up our map, and then we're going to look towards the southwest side, and we're going to head over to the secret bar that he told us about. Also want to mention you could also sleep at Vlad's. Vlad's is a lot closer to sleep than going all the way to Lara's on the most northern point of the map. Your character's exhausted, sometimes it's just a lot easier to sleep at Vlad's place. So we're going to go ahead over towards this secret bar that Vlad told us about. Secret bar is located in the factory area, which is going to be just up the train tracks right after the warehouses. We gotta walk up the same train track we did to head over to the boat guy and to the guy that's selling that revolver right there. So we're going to walk through the warehouses. Like I mentioned before, eventually you're going to know this map like the back of your hand, especially this warehouse area. It ends up looking really familiar because you have 2 of the main characters right here with the Soul and the Halves and then Grief's warehouse. So go ahead and make it through the warehouse area. After you make it through the warehouse area, you're going to see the train tracks, and then you're going to head over to the left. If you follow these train tracks, it's always going to take you to the factory district. You can see my guy's going a little bit slow right now because he's really thirsty. You can go ahead and run while you're thirsty. It's a little risky. I recommend drinking some water so that you gain your thirst meter all the way back up, and then you gain your stamina meter. Once you pass the train tracks, we're going to walk through that brick wall once again. This time we're going to walk straight forward. I also want to mention that you can loot trash cans and bins around the world. Sometimes you'll find food, needles, a bunch of stuff that you could trade with people around the world or children. Day 1 you can't access them, but after day 1 there's going to be shops around town that offer different things like clothes, food, shelter, drinks, things like that. Day 1 we really can't participate with doing business with these merchants because right now we have such bad street cred. Once you get to this secret bar, we're going to go ahead and head downstairs. We're going to find 2 brothers at the bottom. We're going to end up talking to both of them. Pressing through the default dialogue will work just fine. First I'm going to talk to Audrey, and then I'm going to talk to Peter. The conversation, they're going to give you some Twirine. The Twirine, it's going to show you hidden places and conversations on the map. It's going to be a really valuable tincture in the game. For now, we're not going to use it. So next, we're just going to set a marker on Vlad's. We're going to head back to his spot to catch some sleep until day 1 ends. At this point, I don't think you guys need to see me walk all the way to Vlad's. I set the marker, I walked all the way over there, and now I'm going to pass out on the couch for a few hours. So you just want to fast forward enough to go to the 24th hour, and then at that point, you are going to unlock your achievement, and you are going to complete day 1 of Pathologic 2. There we go, guys. That's our achievement. Time waits for no one. Tick tock. That's for completing day 1. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If this walkthrough helped you out, please leave a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe.